You only get to see one because my teammates are lame. This is our Noble Porpoise.
I would give you bonus points if you had shipped me one of those shirts. See, so that's.
We have extras, Ethan. It's not too late.
Sweet. I'll pair it with my. I was wearing on Wednesday. I wore my runner-up cap for TPT. It's like tan from like 2013. And when I wear out my runner-up Kaplan runner-up TPT hat, it's people really think I'm cool. I would definitely recommend it.
I've yet to perfect having two screens on my thing at once. Sorry, go ahead, Katie.
I was going to ask, can you guys remind us of the link to get the buzzer app?
Yes. Go ahead.
It's TPT mykaplan.tv. TPT.mykaplan.tv.
And our code was 423?
432.
432. There we go.
How do I make this? How do you size a window so I can have two windows at the same time?
Depends on your browser, but you put your mouse at the edge of the window and then until it turns into arrows, and then you change the size of it.
Yeah, that worked.
Okay. There are too many Katies.
This tournament has like 12 Katies in it.
There's a lot of Katies at Kaplan.
I did think it's interesting that you all go by Katie.
There were all Catherines, and we all go by Katie. It depends. Yeah. Stanfield's going by. I go by Dewey sometimes. Oh my God, Wes has his shirt on.
There you go.
That makes Wes and me the lamos of this entire hangout.
Eric, are you captaining today?
Katie Dewey is.
Katie's
no, I'll captain. Our captain, Brian, is recovering from surgery today, so
sure.
I'll take the lead.
All right. Just need to know who to throw the steals to.
Yeah.
And RW, you're over on the other side. You're the captain?
Until the coup, yes.
Okay. Oh, captain, my captain.
Who could be coming?
1, 2, 3.
Comey has a memo about you. Let's see, where's the? Okay, I just did it again.
I don't know what you did again, but
we're not broadcasting this, are we?
We are.
Oh, good. Anybody watching this? I'm not nearly as lame in real life. Okay, wait a second.
What was the 432?
Yeah, I can only see the buzzer now. I lost the other screen.
What other screen were you supposed to have? Us?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, now the screen is too small. Don't mock me.
I'm laughing at you. It's not mocking you. I mean, maybe it is. Depends on how you take laughter.
See, I can't see the whole, no, I have to be able to see the whole thing. I have to share my screen too, don't I?
Yeah, the buzzer screen.
Okay. I'm stuck in the buzzer now.
Rochelle, are you on a Mac?
Yeah, what am I doing?
If you do Command-Shift-Tab, it'll rotate through your windows that you have open. Shift-Tab.
Shift.
It should pop up a window that has all of the icons of the windows you have open.
Okay, now I can see the Hangout, but I've lost my other window.
Sounds about right. If you stay where you are, you see the Hangout. If you just sort of drag the Hangout down, meaning move the window, not the size of the window, but drag it down, do you see the other window behind it?
Nope.
Are you on multiple desktops?
No.
I didn't mean to offend you with that question.
Michelle, I really want to send you a second monitor now.
A what?
A
Like a-
second monitor.
I have a second monitor at home, I guess, but I didn't want to. All right. So I have to go back into the Kaplan TPT TV. Oh, there it is. Okay. But I can't share it because I can't find the Hangout. All right. Hold on.
And so everybody knows there are still ongoing Hangout issues. Seems like this Hangout's been pretty secure since we started, but if you happen to get kicked out, just rejoin. Same with the buzzer. If you happen to get kicked out of the buzzer, refresh and rejoin with code 432.
Hopefully you Katie's added an initial or last name to everything.
I hope not. I would enjoy that.
Just to really throw me off.
Or just you can keep saying, and Katie.
And Katie 6.
I'm still having trouble here. I'm sorry. All I can see is the. I
So,
can't see.
Rochelle, do this instead. Are you in the Hangout? You can see the Hangout?
I can't see the Hangout. I can hear it. I'm now stuck in the buzzer.
Okay, so at the bottom of your screen, if you highlight like your toolbar, right? You have all of the icons at the bottom
Yeah.
of your Mac. If you click, what are you in? Chrome?
Yeah.
If you click Chrome.
Okay. Now I see it.
Okay.
Oh, that's how I toggle. Okay. Okay. So let me share my screen.
Yes, please.
I'm going to share the application window.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Oh, it's not showing that.
of course not.
All right. I'll share my hold on. Sorry, guys. I'll share my entire screen and I'll just go off. So, and I will follow the game audioly. Okay. Oops.
I don't like oops. What oops?
All right, hold on.
There it is.
Yay!
I think you might be on multiple desktops, Rochelle, to be honest, because I just saw it slide across. So you might have.
Let's avoid more confusion. We've got the buzzer on.
You
screen.
love this.
All
right. Good luck. Enjoy your game.
Hey, let's just, while we have the buzzer just up on the screen right now, let's do a quick buzzer check. I will go ahead and read through everybody's names just to make it easier. When I read your name, please do a buzzer check. Katie Stanfield. Hit your buzzer.
Oh,
Thank you. Katie Dewey. Eric. Wes. Aaron. Brandon. RW. And Katie. Last Katie. Thank you. All right, nice work. So everybody's buzzers work. Again, if your name disappears from this, it's because of a cookie issue, blah, 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 blah. You should still be able to buzz. If you do have any issues with your buzzer, please, if you see something, say something, come off of mute and let us know. We'll fix that, all right? Okay. I'm going to mute Rochelle. Let's go through the rules really quickly. You've all played a match so far. We are in the deeper round of round 2. However, we've got some people who were not in round 1. We've got some alternates playing. So I will take you all through a little information about what we're going to be doing today. Of course, I'll ask for questions at the end if you do have any questions. We do have a couple new rules this season, so good to do a quick reminder on what those new rules are versus previous years of TPT. So 2 rounds. We'll do the first round and then the second round. That's how rounds work. First round, we'll have 6 categories, 5 questions. So will the second round. And in both of those rounds, the questions will increase in point value. However, in round 1, they'll be worth 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 points. In round 2, they'll be worth 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10 points. Now, note that anytime you answer questions correctly, very distracted. Anytime you answer those questions correctly, you will earn points. Anytime you answer incorrectly, you will lose points. So answering incorrectly will cost you points. So there is a penalty for guessing. If one team answers a question incorrectly, the other team will have a chance to steal. at which point I will give 10 seconds to the team captains, so to RW and to Katie Dewey, to unmute and then let me know if you want to pass or whether you want to answer. You do not need to buzz in, but please do come off of mute to let me know one or the other. During that time, you can confer with the rest of your team about the answer. However, new rule this year, there is no conferring before you buzz in or before anybody on your team buzzes in initially, or conferring while I'm reading a question, okay? I will give you about 10 seconds at the beginning of each category to come up with a strategy, if you want, on how to use that category, because the other new rule this year is that every person on your team is limited to buzzing in no more than 2 times per category, okay? So we have a 2 max limit on that. Now, what I recommend doing is if you ring in twice in a category, take your hands right off of your buzzer. You don't want to buzz in that 3rd time. There is a penalty of points loss for continual buzzing in. Also, taking your hands off reminds me that you're done. So it's kind of a nice quick thing. So I've been calling it pause up. Get rid of the pause. Okay, so those things are all true. No more. Also, if you buzz in and you buzz it in correctly, that still counts as one of your buzzes in. So only buzz in twice per round. Occasionally, we will have surprise substitutions. A surprise substitution comes in when we have a specific question that we can't reproduce because it was an audio, visual, or video question that originally appeared on Jeopardy, where questions are drawn from. In those cases, we will pull from an alternate category for that question and that question only. However, again, on that 2 buzzes in per category, that still counts as one of your buzzes. So if you've buzzed twice, you cannot buzz in on the surprise substitution in that category. If you buzz in on a surprise substitution, it counts as one of your 2 in the initial category. Whew. Those are a lot of rules. All that's true. If in the event of a tie at the end of 2 rounds, we will do an extra category, not just an extra question. It's pretty rare that we run into a tie situation, but I like to always make people aware of how ties might work. All right. Any questions before we get started with round 1? Seven-second rule. I gotta count. All right. Give me a quick thumbs up that you are all ready to go, as the kids are saying. Sweet. And we'll get started with the first category in the first round. I'll give you, again, about 10 to 15 seconds to discuss. The first category is 19th century medicine. 19th century medicine. All right, I'm back. I need an extra 10 seconds myself. 19th century medicine. First question coming up. Get your hands on buzzers. Let's warm up with our first category. 1-point question. In 1885, the first successful vaccine for this was tested on a boy who had been bitten by a dog. In 1885, Eric.
Rabies.
Rabies is correct for 1 point. Dog bite, rabies. 2-point question coming up, 19th century medicine. Hands on buzzers. In 1852, George Kaman gave physicians a version of this instrument that they could listen to with both ears. In Wes.
Stethoscope.
A stethoscope. Come on. Anyway, correct for 2 points. Stethoscope. Nice work. 3 points for Noble Porpoise. Say it right. 3-point question. 19th century medicine. The invention of the ophthalmoscope in 1851 by Hermann von Helmholtz aided inspection of this body part. Katie V.
Eyes.
The eyes are correct. The ophthalmos. That was harder to say than Hermann von Helmholtz. It's a great name. 4-point question. Tie game. 19th century medicine. In 1865, Joseph Lister began using carbolic acid as this, from the Latin for against putrefaction. in Katie Stanfield.
Mouthwash.
Mouthwash is incorrect. We'll take away 4 points. Boop, 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 boop. And I'll read it again for the blue team. RW will have the chance to answer after 10 seconds. One more time through them. In 1865, Joseph Lister began using carbolic acid as this from the Latin for against putrefaction. 10 seconds.
We pass.
You pass. Against Latin anti-putrefaction, septic, antiseptic. All right. So 4-point question out of the way. Good stumper for us. Let's go to the 5-point question in our final question in 19th century medicine. Hands on buzzers. This German's discovery of X-rays in 1895 had visible effects in diagnosing medical problems. This German's discovery of X-rays in 1895 had visible effects in diagnosing medical problems. 10 seconds. And time. Taking away some points here for Eric not knowing the answer. The answer is Röntgen. Röntgen. My German pronunciation is really getting a workout in one category. I don't really like it. Röntgen is the German. All right. Well, somebody got it on the show. Nobody got it here. That's all right. We're out of medicine, happily. And we also got the first round jitters out of our first category jitters out of the way. And we're in category number 2. Category number 2 is business and industry. Business and industry. So medicine wasn't your thing. Business and industry might be. Go ahead, take 10 seconds. Business and industry. All right. First question coming up. 1 point. Hands on your buzzers. In Forbes magazine's 2007 list of billionaires, this Omahan was again ranked number RW.
Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett, everyone's favorite Omaha and Omahan, was ranked number 2 behind Bill Gates. All right. Nice job. 1-point question. 2-point question coming up in business and industry. In 1990, United Brands changed its name to this to take advantage of its name recognition as a banana producer. In 1990, United Brands changed its name to this to take advantage of its name recognition as a banana producer. 10 seconds. Eric.
Chiquita?
Chiquita is correct for 2 points. Nice job. I mean, you got to think famous banana producer, Chiquita. Nice job for 2 points. 3-point question, business and industry, hands on buzzers. Legend has it that the design of this company's Monsieur Bibendum, that this company's Monsieur Bibendum logo was inspired by a pile of rubber tires. Legend has it that, Wes.
The Michelin Man.
The Michelin Man is correct. Monsieur Bibendum. I can do French, can't do German. Monsieur Bibendum is indeed the Michelin Man. Nice job for 3 points. 4 points coming up, business and industry. Her Red Spoon logo was introduced in 1950. RW.
Betty Crocker.
Betty Crocker, who has the Red Spoon logo, introduced in 1954, now appears on more than 200 products. And pause up. I think that's 2 for you. You're out of this one. We got a 5-point question in business and industry. Hands on buzzers. In 1978, he was fired as the president of Ford, only to become the new president of Chrysler. In 1978, he was fired as the president of Ford, only to become the new president of Chrysler. 10 seconds. Wes.
Lee Iacocca.
Lee Iacocca is correct for 5 points. Nice job, Wes, to come in on that one. Lee Iacocca, whenever I think of like famous 80s names in presidents of car industries, like Lee Iacocca's got to come out of it at some point, right? Nice work that pulls you back into the lead. At the end of 2 categories, the score is 9-8, very close game. Noble Porpoises, with those super awesome shirts, are in the lead. Again, if I could give away points right now for shirts, or if I had gotten one in the mail, you'd be doing even better. All right, third category is going to be countries by newspaper. Countries by newspaper. I will tell you some newspapers that exist in a country, and you tell me the country. These will be somewhat short clues, right? So just be prepared to buzz rather quickly if you know the answer. Countries by newspaper. See how well read you are. 1 point question coming up. 1 point question. Here are the newspaper names. El Sol de Tehuacan, the Acapulco Times. El Sol de Tehuacan, the Acapulco. Katie.
Mexico.
Mexico is correct. The Acapulco Times. That's fun to say. 2 point question. Go ahead and reset the buzzer. All right, we got a 2 point question in countries by newspaper. The Brunswickan, the Edmonton Examiner. Aaron.
Canada?
Canada is correct. The Brunswickan, out of the good province of New Brunswick. The Edmonton Examiner, out of Saskatchewan. Or wait, out of Alberta. I had to do my correct provinces. Oops. 3 point question. Tie game. 3 point question. Country by newspaper. The Daily Punjab and the Balochistan Post. RW.
India.
India is incorrect. I'm going to take away 3 points. I'll reread these newspaper names, and then we'll allow Katie and team to let me know, Katie Dewey and team, whether they want to answer or pass. The Daily Punjab and the Balochistan Post. They are currently discussing. This is Bob's golf voice that he taught me. Are we in an answer or pass? Katie, please come off mic.
Yeah, answer.
Pakistan?
Pakistan is correct.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job winning the debate to answer. A successful steal. 3 points away from Trivia That Never Sleeps, and 3 points to the Noble Purpose for Pakistan. Somebody on the show also guessed India and got it wrong, so don't be surprised. 4 point question. 4 point question. Hands on buzzers. The Cape Times, the Volksblad. The Cape Times, Aaron.
South Africa?
South Africa is correct. Nice job on that one. The Volksblad, a little use of Afrikaans. That's my best Afrikaans accent that I can do, Volksblad. All right. 5 point question. 5 point question in countries by newspaper. Hands on buzzers. Haaretz, Yediot Aranot. Haaretz, Yediot Aranot. 10 seconds. Eric.
Israel.
Israel is correct. Thanks for picking up on my Hebrew. Israel is correct for Haaretz and Yediot Aranot. Nice work on that category. Noble Porpoises. It is now 18-11. Still a lot of questions yet to go. Even in round 1, we're only halfway through. All right, our next category, to get you all ready for it, it's From the Latin. From the Latin. Those of you who took Latin, here's your chance to shine. Go ahead and take a couple seconds.
Ethan, did I successfully get into this hangout?
You did.
I took Latin. Did you take Latin?
I did not take Latin. I was too busy with French.
Do you know why I took Latin? Take a guess.
Why did you take Latin?
I thought it would help me on my SATs.
Did it?
I mean, I did okay, but not because I took Latin.
Well, then that was a big waste of time.
Because I'm smart. No, because I prepared.
Well, now you can see if you would have been able to answer these questions about Latin. 1 point question. 1 point question in From the Latin. This type of sphere with a map of the Earth depicted on it has a name from the Latin for sphere. This type of, Aaron.
Globe?
Yeah, a very complicated question to get the answer is globe. This type of sphere with a map of the Earth depicted on it has a name from the Latin for sphere. A globe is correct for 1 point. Don't overthink these sometimes. 2-point question. 2-point question in from the Latin. Hands on buzzers. This kind of book is quite handy. Its name comes from the Latin for hand. This kind of book is quite handy. RW.
A manual.
A manual is correct. Nice job. 2 points. 3-point question, again from the Latin. If you've got this flexible armor, you know its name comes from macula, a Latin word for mesh of a net. If you've got this flexible armor, you know, Katie.
Chainmail?
Accept it, yeah, mail. Chainmail, mail. If you've got, I did my best, you've got mail voice. Thanks. Nice job, Trivia That Never Sleeps. Trying to claw your way back. 4-point question in from the Latin. Hands on buzzer. The name of this fin on a shark's back comes from the Latin for back. RW.
Dorsal.
Dorsal is correct for 4 points. Think your hand again after that one. Nice job for the 4 points. And the 5-point question in from the Latin. Texas A&M's Coastal Engineering Lab studies the coastal type of this, from Latin for to gnaw. Texas A&M's Coastal Engineering Lab studies the coastal type of this, from Latin for to gnaw. 10 seconds. Katie.
Erosion?
Erosion is correct. Nice job. From the Latin for to gnaw. Erosion. 23-21. Tightened up the game with a good round from the blue team and from the Latin. They knew their Latin. Score is 23-21. Noble Porpoise still holding the lead. Next category is called Quoth the Raven. But Raven is R-A-V-I-N, not like that's so Raven. Raven as in crazy, okay? So it's going to be about crazy characters or people. Quoth the Raven.
It should be interesting.
It should be interesting. And crazy. All right, 1-point question in Quoth of the Raven. We still need to work on our banter. 1-point question. This character has gone psycho long before he says, she might have fooled me, but she didn't. Brandon.
Norman Bates.
Norman Bates is correct. You knew where I was going with that one for 1 point. This character has gone psycho long before he says, she might have fooled me, but she didn't fool my mother. I couldn't do a good Norman Bates. 2-point question. 2-point question in Quoth the Raven. Hands on buzzers. Kathleen Quinlan finds comfort talking to shrink B.B. Anderson in I Never Promised You This. Kathleen Quinlan finds comfort talking to shrink B.B. Anderson in I Never Promised You This. 10 seconds. Time. Good stumper. Not a stumper on the show. I never promised you a rose garden. I never promised you a rose garden. Hey, you can't win them all, but you can win the next question, and I think somebody will. A 3-point question in Quoth the Raven. Hands on buzzers. As John Nash in this movie, Russell Crowe does quite a bit of talking. Eric.
Beautiful Mind.
A Beautiful Mind is correct for 3 points. As John Nash in this movie, Russell Crowe does quite a bit of talking to people who don't exist. There are a lot of movies around that time where people talk to people who didn't exist. All right. 4-point question. 4-point question in Quoth the Raven. Hands on buzzers. In Quills, this author muses, my glorious prose filtered through the minds of the insane. RW.
Oh, Marquis de Sade.
Marquis de Sade is correct for 4 points. Nice job. My glorious prose filtered through the minds of the insane. They might improve it. The Marquis de Sade is correct. Somebody named Kevin got that question correct on Jeopardy. if you know Kevin. 5-point question. 5-point question in, quote, The Raven. This Johnny Depp character tells his psychiatrist, Don Octavio, you are a great lover like myself. This Johnny Depp character tells his psychiatrist, Don Octavio, you're a great lover like myself. 10 seconds. Time?
I know.
You know, Rochelle?
I think so. Wasn't it Don Juan DeMarco?
Don Juan DeMarco is correct. I thought the Don Octavio might give it away. But I do get very happy when we have a tie game. And we're back to a tie game at the end of our 5th category with just one category left to go in round 1. It is 26-26. So nice job, Trivia That Never Sleeps. Keeping in there. Our last category after, quote, The Raven, is going to be Edgar Allan Poe. A whole category about Edgar Allan Poe. My favorite poet. What does that say about me? I wear a lot of, I don't know, eyeliner, maybe something like that. Edgar Allan Poe, 1-point question coming up. According to an 1833 description, Poe dressed entirely in this color. Katie.
Black.
Goes with the eyeliner, right? 1 point for you for black was the color that Poe dressed in. 2-point question about Edgar Allan Poe. Edgar Allan Poe. Poe's MS found in one of these won a short story contest in 1833. Poe's MS found in one of these won a short story contest in 1833. Close games, nobody wants to buzz in, right? Time, it is, the MS was message found in, and it was found in a bottle. Triple stumper on the show as well, I think, just because of the MS as opposed to the message found in a bottle. But MS found in a bottle is where the message was found. Well, nobody bid on that one, so we've got a 3-point question on Edgar Allan Poe. 3 points. Hands up, buzzers. In 1842, Poe reviewed this author's Barnaby Rudge, which features a human-like raven. In 1842, Poe reviewed this author's Barnaby Rudge, which features a human-like raven. See, I'm pretty scared to ring it. Maybe just not Edgar Allan Poe fans like me. The answer is Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens wrote Barnaby Rudge. I will tell you what, on Jeopardy, Barnaby Rudge comes up all the time as some. So the only reason I know that is just from watching so many Jeopardies and not knowing who wrote Barnaby Rudge. Barnaby Rudge, one of the lesser known stories or books from Charles Dickens. All right, 4-point question. 4-point question. Edgar Allan Poe. Hands on buzzers. Poe's wife, who passed away at age 24, had this name, like the state at whose university Poe studied. Poe's wife, who passed away at age 24, had this name, like the state at whose university Poe studied. Time. Only so many lady states, right? It is not Georgia. It is not Michigan. It is Virginia. Virginia was the wife's name. She died at age 24. I'm gonna have to Wikipedia that. I don't actually know how she died. All right, our last question of the round. 5 points. Last question of the category and the round on Edgar Allan Poe. Hands on buzzers. The first obituary of Poe, which spoke of the frailties of genius, appeared in this newspaper. The first obituary of Poe, which spoke of the frailties of genius, appeared in this newspaper. Time. Well, a good stumper category. The reason why they're called the Baltimore Ravens is because of Edgar Allan Poe. And if you know the newspaper is the Baltimore Sun, the Baltimore Sun is where his obituary is first published. Well, the exciting news is that we have a very, very close game at the end of round one. It is Noble Porpoise's 27-26 trivia that never sleeps. That also means that because all the point values are even numbers in round two, we will not see a tie. So somebody is going to come out of this ahead. Will it be Noble Porpoises? Will it be trivia that never sleeps? Let's take a 30-second stretch break, and then we'll see in round two. Go ahead and stretch. Take a deep breath, and we'll be right back. Bob Rini taught me to never drink water on camera. Something that I've learned. Well, those are fun. So I've had matches where I've had good categories. I've had matches where I've had like categories I don't really love. This one, I like the categories. Some really tough questions though, and I think you'll continue to see some very tough questions as we go into round two. But we'll see how it all shakes out. You all ready to go for round two? Double the points. Double the points. My patience is halved. My points are doubled. All that good. So that's always my go-to line. All right, round two. Our first category, if you want to get yourselves situated, it's going to be art and artists. Art and artists. Finally, time for you art history majors. Art and artists. One point question, or 2 points. Sorry, I have to double the points. More points for you. More points for you. 2 point question coming up in art and artists. 2 points. Hands on buzzers. Helen Frankenthaler's soak and stain technique was inspired by this artist's drip paintings. Helen Frankenthaler's soak and stain technique. RW.
This is wrong, but Jackson Pollock.
Well, you won't know if it's wrong until you say it, right? Like, and Jackson Pollock is correct. Drip paintings, Jackson Pollock, you got your 2 points. See? Don't doubt yourself. 4 point question. 4 point question coming up in art and artists. Hands up buzzers. Picasso painted this work as a protest against the bombing of a town in the Spanish Civil War. Picasso painted this work as a protest against the bombing of a town in the Spanish Civil War. And time. Nobody loves that. Rochelle, do you know the answer?
Yeah, it's Guernica.
Guernica is correct. Nobody gets
I saw once at a Picasso retrospective here in New York. Spectacular.
They're also really good. They're really good beans to eat. Guernica beans. They're like a delicacy in Spain, and you get them covered in like sea salt. I really like them. Better than I like the painting. Anyway, I haven't had lunch yet, so you can tell I'm getting hungry. 6 point question. 6 point question in art and artists. Hands on buzzers. One of his last paintings before his 1903 death in the South Pacific was a landscape of Brittany in winter. One of his last paintings before his 1903 death in the South Pacific was a landscape of Brittany in winter. 10 seconds. Time. South Pacific and France in a one clue almost always points to
Paul Gauguin.
Paul Gauguin. Paul Gauguin. If you ever see South Pacific painter, I always think it's going to be Paul Gauguin. 8 point question. 8 point question coming up. See if we can not get some artist points off the board here. Come on, buzz in. I'll start that over. Hands on buzzer. In her 1949 painting, Diego and I, Diego Rivera is depicted on her forehead. Aaron.
Frida Kahlo.
Frida Kahlo is correct. Nice job. I knew somebody would get the Frida Kahlo question. Bet my eyebrows on it. 10 point question. 10 point question. This 19th century inventor's notable portraits include those of the Marquis de Lafayette and William Cullen Bryant. This 19th century inventor's notable portraits included those of the Marquis de Lafayette and William Cullen Bryant. 10 seconds. Time. This is a stumper on the show. I didn't know this one either. I can't fault all of you all. Samuel Morse not only invented Morse code, he was also a painter who painted a nice picture of the Marquis de Lafayette. All right, well, that's one category out of the way. So arts and artists were not your thing. Poetry is not your thing. What is your thing? What's your thing? I've been trying here. Maybe your thing is football. Football, yeah, football. Maybe? All right. Well, we got football. Football is our next category. Take a couple seconds. We'll move from artists to football.
From the sublime to the ridiculous?
Well, it depends on how you feel. I love football. All right, 2-point question in football. Hands on buzzers. To see this team's home games at FedEx Field, you can take the... Eric.
Washington Redskins.
Washington Redskins is correct. At FedEx Field, you can take the shuttle bus from the Landover, Maryland metro stop. Nice work. 4-point question. This Cowboys wide receiver of the 1990s entered the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2007. Wes.
Michael Irvin.
Michael Irvin is correct for 4 points. Football's going a little bit better, right? 6-point question in football. Hands on buzzers. He coached the Packers from 1919 to 1949, and his statue is in Green Bay at the stadium named for him. He coached the Packers from 1919 to 1949. RW.
Lambeau.
Curly Lambeau. Curly Lambeau is correct. Nice job for 6 points. Football's going well. 8-point question coming up in football. Hands on buzzers. The cup representing Canadian football supremacy has this colorful name. A descendant of the tea guy donated it. RW.
The Grey Cup.
Yes, the tea guy, Earl Grey, donated the cup. It is the Grey Cup in Canadian football. I'm a Canadian football fan. You might not know many of them. I am a Hamilton Tiger Cats fan, so go Ticats. All right, our last question in football is a surprise substitution. Surprise substitution, surprise substitution, surprise. The dancing taco always indicates that we have a surprise substitution in my games. I don't do Bob's song, but dancing taco means surprise substitution. So that's what a dancing taco means. So we're going to get a different question for this category and this category only, and it is the 10-point question, so it is worth a lot of points. So hopefully it's something that you've researched heavily, and it's not something that we have all hated so far. It is, let me find out, I don't even know. It is... Which president's cabinet? Which president's cabinet? I will give you 2 cabinet members, and you tell me which president's cabinet they belong to, who the president was who put them in his cabinet. It's best I got. Whose president's cabinet? Which president's cabinet? Yeah, that's right. All right, hands on buzzers for a 10-point question. I will name 2 cabinet members. Secretary of the Interior, James R. Garfield. Secretary of War, William Howard Taft. Secretary of the Interior, James R. Garfield. Secretary of War, William Howard Taft. Eric.
Roosevelt.
Which who?
I'm gonna go with FDR.
FDR is incorrect.
Man.
FDR is incorrect. We'll take away 10 points. And I'll read it again for the other team. You all think about it. Secretary of the Interior, James R. Garfield. Secretary of War, William Howard Taft. Take 10 seconds, and RW can let us know.
We're gonna pass.
You're going to pass. And just so you know, I would have asked for the Roosevelt, no matter which Roosevelt you gave. But it was the other Roosevelt. It was Teddy Roosevelt. Would have gotten you the 10 points. It was triple stumper on the show, but Teddy Roosevelt was the correct one.
No. William Howard's half is very early.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Make sure to go
sorry.
back on mute. And anyway, that was our one question. We don't have to. Luckily, we don't have to go through all the rest of the cabinet member questions because that was pretty tough. We are going to go to our next round, which is interesting. The category is Take Me Out to the History Game. Take Me Out to the History Game. So what this is I'm going to read what's going to sound like a sports clue, but it's going to be about history. Why this is a category, I don't know. But look for the clues in it to answer a history question based in what sounds like a sports clue. Shall we warm up with a 2-point question so you can see what I'm talking about? Okay, let's. 2-point question in Take Me Out to the History Game. Hands on buzzers. It's 1922, and the Black Shirts forced King Victor Emmanuel III to appoint this far-right fielder as prime minister. Can't do that voice. It's 1922, and the Black Shirts forced King Victor Emmanuel III to appoint this far-right fielder as prime minister. 10 seconds. Aaron.
Churchill?
Churchill is incorrect. We'll take away 2 points. I'll read it one more time for the other team. It's 1922, and the Black Shirts force King Victor Emmanuel III to appoint this far-right fielder as prime minister. Take 10 seconds, Katie.
Pass.
Pass. This is the second time King Victor Emmanuel III has come up in 2 straight games that I've done. I don't know what was the thing. And he was the king of Italy at the beginning of the 19th century. 1922, the far-right fielder, Benito Mussolini. Triple stumper on the show, Benito Mussolini. But nice, yeah, this is all going to go. 4-point question coming up and Take Me Out to the History Game. Hands on buzzers. It's going back, and it's over. This 73-mile-long wall built in the 120s AD. The Emperor has done it again. Wes.
Great Wall of China.
Great Wall of China is incorrect. We'll take away 4 points. I'll read it again for the other team. It's going back, and it's over this 73-mile-long wall built in the 120s AD. The Emperor has done it again.
Hadrian's Wall.
Hadrian's Wall is correct. He's the correct Emperor. Hadrian's Wall is correct for 4 points. Nice job on the steal. 8-point swing. Way to go, trivia that never sleeps. We got 3 more clues in this crazy history, sports writing of history. Anyway, hands on buzzers. 6 points. It's 1902, and Teddy Roosevelt is putting this junior on the bench, the Supreme Court bench, and he'll be there for 29 years. It's 1902, and Teddy Roosevelt is putting this junior on the bench, the Supreme Court bench, and he'll be there for 29 years. 10 seconds. Time. He nominated Supreme Court Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr. Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr. Triple stumper on the show. I don't think I know it either. 8-point question. 8-point question. Hands up, buzzers. It's 1649, and this king is looking kind of tired out. Yep, here comes Oliver Cromwell to give him the hook. It's 1649, and this king is looking kind of tired out. Yep, here comes Oliver Cromwell to give him the hook. 10 seconds. English history always gets me too. It was Charles I. Charles I was the king. Charles I. All right, 10-point question. 10-point question. Hands on buzzers. It's July 10th, 1553. And this lady will pinch hit for Edward VI, who's been taken out of the game. Cousin Mary is on deck. It's July 10th, 1553. And this lady will pinch hit for Edward VI, who's been taken out of the game. Cousin Mary is on deck. 10 seconds. Aaron.
Elizabeth?
Elizabeth is incorrect. Take away 10 points. And we'll go again one more time to the other team, see if Katie wants to answer it with her team. It's July 10th, 1553, and this lady will pinch hit for Edward VI, who's been taken out of the game. Cousin Mary is on deck. 10 seconds. And Katie, are we going to answer or pass? Pass, and you had a chance to catch back up. Oh well, yeah, you probably weren't thinking of Lady Jane Grey. Lady Jane Grey. Maybe you were then.
Well, Eric was like Jane something or another.
What are them? Lady Jane Grey, and then of course Mary after that. 42 to 19. Trivia that never sleeps. Noble Porpoise. But we still have 1, 2, 3 categories. Half of round 2 still to go. Let's keep knocking them out. The next one is they named a food for me. People who lent their name to food items. They named a food for me. So maybe we've got some chefs or some good eaters among us. Let's get our hands on their buzzers for they named a food for me. We're going to start off with a 2-point question. Again, this is going to make me hungry, isn't it? 2 points. Hands on buzzers. He's not just a dessert anymore. There's also a mozzarella and eggplant version of this layered Bonaparte treat. He's not Eric.
A Napoleon.
A Napoleon. A Napoleon is correct. Napoleon. 4-point question in they named a food for me. Hands on buzzers. We wonder if this Victorian consort was as rich and creamy as the horseradish sauce said to be named for him. We wonder if this Victorian consort was as rich and creamy as the horseradish sauce said to be named for him. Eric.
I don't know how to pronounce this word. It's Worcester or Worcester or Worcestershire.
Yeah, no matter how you pronounce it, you're wrong. So we'll take away 4 points. 4 points away from you. I'll read it one more time for the blue team. We wonder if this Victorian consort was as rich and creamy as the horseradish sauce. That's not a horseradish sauce. Said to be named for him. 10 seconds. Let us know if you want to pass or play.
We're going to pass.
You're going to pass. I would pass too. Prince Albert sauce. Maybe I don't eat a lot of condiments, but Prince Albert was the consort Albert sauce. All right. 6-point question. 6-point question. They named a food for me, just for me. Hands on buzzers. The raspberry sauce named for this opera singer may top many dishes, not just her eponymous peach dessert. The raspberry sauce named for this opera singer may top many dishes, not just her eponymous peach dessert. The peach dessert is called a peach melba. Peach melba. Nellie Melba was the opera singer. Now you know the origins of peach melba. All right, fair enough. 8-point question. They named a food for me, just not the foods you all eat. They named a food for me. 8-point question. Hands on buzzers. Do tell. This Italian composer was quite a gourmet, and an omelet with foie gras and truffles is named for him. Do tell. This Italian composer was quite a gourmet, and an omelet with foie gras and truffles was named for him. 10 seconds. Time. I've never heard it. His name was not Western or Denver. His name was Rossini, and I only knew it because of William Tell, Rossini omelet. That was the clue with do tell. the Italian composer Rossini omelet. All right, 10-point question. 10-point question. They named a food for me. Hands on buzzers. Perhaps this French author consumed the consommé named for her alongside her lover Chopin. Perhaps this French author consumed the consommé named for her alongside her lover Chopin. Time. I guess we weren't that hungry. Rochelle, do you happen to know?
I think it's George Sand.
George Sand, or George Sand, is correct. Triple stumper on the show, Rochelle. So way to know your George Sand consommé. Those are all fun words to say.
I only know that because there was a movie with Judy Davis and Hugh Grant. She played George Sand, and he played Chopin.
Was what's his name in it?
Mandy Patinkin was in it.
No, the country singer that we were talking about.
Tim McGraw. No.
Tim McGraw was not in it. Well, then I haven't seen it because Tim McGraw was not in it. Yeah, I did have been there on Wednesday. All right, 2 categories left. 42 to 17. Still anybody's game. Still a lot of points to be had in these last 2 categories. They're a little normaler, so hopefully you're excited for some normaler categories. The next one is U.S. bodies of water. U.S. bodies of water. So that's pretty normal, right? Let's see how you do in U.S. bodies of water. Hands on buzzers. First question, 2 points. Admiralty Inlet and the Hood Canal are the 2 main branches of this irregular inlet in the northwest corner of Washington state. Admiralty Inlet and the Hood Canal are the 2 main branches of this irregular inlet in the northwest corner of Washington state. All right, I'll take that as time. Puget Sound. Puget Sound is the irregular inlet in Washington. All right, 4-point question. 4-point question coming up. Hands on buzzers. Although only about 1.5 square miles in area, Lake Conneaut, south of Erie, is this state's largest natural lake. RW.
Ohio.
Ohio is incorrect. Take away 4 points. I'll read it again for the red team. Although only about 1.5 square miles in area, Lake Conneaut, south of Erie, is this state's largest natural lake. Do it.
Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania is correct. Erie, Pennsylvania. Somebody went with Ohio on the show as well. Nice steal there for 8 points in the opposite direction. 4 points out of trivia that never sleeps. 4 points for its noble purpose. Solid steal. 6-point question coming up in U.S. bodies of water. Hands on buzzers. 6 points. The Gila River joins this river near Yuma, Arizona. The Gila River, with a G, joins this river. RW.
The Colorado.
Colorado's correct. Way to win back your points. Nice job. 6 points for that. Colorado, but that is 2 buzzes. So you're out for these last 2 bodies of water questions. Bodies of water, U.S. bodies of water for 8. Hands on buzzers. One of the world's longest multiple arch dams helped form this state's Grand Lake of the Cherokees. One of the world's longest multiple arch dams helped form this state's Grand Lake of the Cherokees. Grand Lake of the Cherokees. 10 seconds. Time. Grand Lake of the Cherokees used to be called Indian Territory. Now it is called Oklahoma. Oklahoma. All right. 10-point question. 10-point question. Last question here in U.S. bodies of water. Hands on buzzers. This river, which connects Lake St. Clair and Lake Erie, provides part of the border between Michigan and Ontario. This river, which connects Lake St. Clair and Lake Erie, provides part of the border between Michigan and Ontario. 10 seconds. Eric.
Detroit River.
The Detroit River is correct for 10 points. Way to try to get yourself back. It was a triple stumper on the show. Detroit. I'm from Michigan, so I've crossed the Detroit River many a times into Ontario. Nice work, though. Makes it a pretty close, tight game going into the final category. Trivia That Never Sleeps, 44. Noble Porpoise, 31. It all comes down to, what do you know in this final category? What do you know? What do you know about what the H? What the H? H in quotation marks. All of these answers are going to start with the letter H. All of these answers are going to start with the letter H. Anybody's game. 2-point question. What the H? Olympic event won twice by Jackie Joyner-Kersee. Olympic event. Katie.
Hurdles.
Hurdles is incorrect. We'll take away 2
darn.
points. What the H? You just swore. 2 points we'll take away, and I'll give Katie and team a chance. Olympic event won twice by Jackie Joyner-Kersee. Take 10 seconds. Player pass.
Heptathlon.
Heptathlon is correct. Nice job for the steal for 2 points. What the H, 4-point question, is a surprise substitution. Surprise substitution. Just when you're getting used to the H category, the dancing taco arrives. That means we've got a surprise substitution. So as much as anybody could have answered these questions that are just general trivia about things that start with H, we're going to have to test your knowledge of, for this question only, worth 4 points, Sherlock Holmes. Yo Holmes is the name of the category. Yo Holmes. All right. 4-point question. Sherlock Holmes. Hands on your buzzers. I need a very specific answer to this question, by the way. This oft-quoted four-word phrase mentioning Holmes' pal never actually appeared in Conan Doyle's writings. RW.
Elementary, my dear Watson.
Elementary, my dear Watson is the four-word phrase. Nice job for 4 points. Your Sherlock Holmes knowledge went to good use. It's elementary, my dear Watson. All right, back to H. We got 3 questions left. Still a close game. Back to H. Hands on buzzers. It's the HT in HTTP and HTML. It's RW.
Hypertext.
Hypertext is correct. Bumps you up to 52, and no more hands for you. You are out for these final 2 questions. All right. 8-point question. What the H? 8 points. In the 18th century BC, he wrote down his famous list of do's and don'ts. In the 18th century BC, he wrote down his famous list of do's and don'ts. Time, I can see. Oh, Eric, I'll let you.
Was it
get
after
in.
the buzzer?
Oh, was it after?
I heard it before I clicked, so I.
All right, I'll let you answer.
But my guess was Hannibal.
Hannibal would be incorrect anyway, so we'd take away points from you.
Thanks.
We can toss it to the other side to give them a chance, though, now, even though I think they were hiding from buzzing in before. In the 18th century BC, he wrote down his famous list of do's and don'ts.
Hammurabi.
Hammurabi is correct for 8 points. Hammurabi's Code, his famous list of do's and don'ts. All right, and now a 10-point question. See, we would have ended up here anyway. Last question in What the H, hands on buzzers. Used in marching bands, it's a large bass tuba that encircles the player's body. Used in marching bands, it's a large bass tuba that encircles the player's body. Time. The helicon. The helicon. We'll just call it a sousaphone. I guess it's a different one. Anyway, triple stumper on the show. The helicon. Now you will always know a bass tuba that encircles the player is called a helicon. All right. Well, nice game overall. Very close route. Could have been anybody who won it, but Trivia That Never Sleeps was able to pull ahead. Nice job, RW, Katie, Brandon, Aaron. 60 points to 25 Noble Porpoises. Noble Porpoises, we will see you again, though. So have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Sorry we ran a little bit long today with all of our technical stuff at the beginning. But have a great rest of your day. Nice job, all teams. Okay, bye.